You can get daily reports here from Alex Barth at 985thesportshub.com. And Alex joins us now in our Town Fair Tire Studios. How you doing, Alex?
Good. Thanks for having me.
What was your main takeaway today? Listen to Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo was pretty strong in saying that Drake May is going to have a chance to start week one. And look, I didn't expect him to come out and totally close the book on it, right? It's coach speak to an extent. Everybody's going to compete. Everybody's going to have a chance to win their job. But there were a few times he went back to it unprompted. Now, he did say, he's going to have to go above and beyond. He's really going to have to show us something. But it didn't sound like lip service. It sounded like somebody who truly meant, if he really impresses us, he's better than Jacoby Brissett by that much. Yeah, it's going to be his thing come week one.
Do you believe it?
Yeah, I think the bar to get there is extremely high, but, coming in, I wondered if the bar was reachable at all, not only because of Drake May, but because of other things that were going on. Mike, when I was on last week with you, I talked about, you got to be able to protect him. The offensive line has to be, up to the task. But I don't know, the way he talked today sounded like if they feel like he's really, the option, they're going to go with him in Cincinnati.
Okay, if you watch on the simulcast, Alex, I'm just going to do a little bit of a favor here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There's a little bit of a size discrepancy.
It's always
Bring in a book to sit on.
The chair's too short. The chair's too tall.
Hold on, let me help too.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the chair, Alex.
There it is. That's better.
Okay.
That's a little more even.
I'm not used to being down here, but either way.
Going higher.
5'9", I promise.
Alex, from what you saw in the spring, is Drake May even close?
He was making progress. He needs to make more progress from what there was in the spring. If he's just level from where he left off, no, it's going to be Jacoby Brissett.
Is that right? So where was he deficient in the spring?
There were just times I think that the ball got away from him. And whether that was, going through the reads and everything just kind of being really quick, or just a consistency thing with his mechanics. There's new mechanics he's working on. There were a few times that I was like, yeah, he looks like a rookie there. Now, what was unfortunate was, I think it was his last two passes, or two of his last three passes were intercepted. They were the only interceptions he threw all spring that we saw. But
the entire spring workout, his three passes, two of the last three were intercepted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have loved to have seen how he bounced back from that, because I remember that was a big thing with Mac Jones. Mac Jones would be having a fine day, could be 30 minutes into practice, an hour into practice, until he made the first mistake. And then that was it. He was done. And guys are going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. Gerard Mayo talked about this today. You can't be a mistake repeater, right? If you make the mistake, how do you bounce back? Do you snap back into it? We never saw that because he threw the two picks and then everybody goes on summer vacation. So that's going to be a big thing to see whether or not he's ready, because when he gets thrown into game action, it's going to be fast. It's going to be aggressive. There's going to be things he's not ready for, and he's just going to have the mental makeup to snap back in and say, that didn't go the way I wanted. Let's get back to it. And he did that in college, but this is another level. It's different, and some guys can do it in college and not do it in the pros.
What do you think they're going to be as a team? Like, do you hold out any hope that they could be, 8-8? I say 8-8, a 500 team and be on the cusp of playoff contention?
I think that's their ceiling. If some of these rookies really go their way, right? Drake May, you get a hit on one of those receivers, Caden Walls gives you something to tackle, then yeah, they're going to be right around 500. They'll be in the mix for a wild card spot to the end. Whether they get it or not, it's a tough conference. But if like all the what ifs start to go their way, and this rookie class really hits, and some of the guys from last year, Christian Gonzalez, Keon White, take that massive year two jump, they, injuries happen, some things will go their way, but they could be around a 500 team.
Alex, back to the quarterback thing. What do you think they want to have happen here out of the chute?
I think they want Jacoby Brissett for, call it about a month, nice, easy landing spot, ease Drake May along, let him kind of see what an NFL week is like, game planning and all of that. And then whenever, again, I've used Halloween as that kind of checkpoint of get him in by then, and then start to evaluate him in game. And I know you're big on he doesn't need a play to develop, which I agree with to an extent.
Do you?
But I also
that was my next question. Do you agree that he does? If he doesn't play, he can still progress, or if he doesn't play, does that worry you?
To a point, you can progress behind the scenes, absolutely. But there are just certain things you got to get in the game. You got to see the speed of it and all of that.
Did Mahomes? Did Brady?
Yeah, you can progress to a point where you can be a starter, but once, and Brady got to that point without playing. Mahomes got to that point without playing.
Did Montana? Yes.
I couldn't tell you.
He did. He didn't start till midway through his second year.
But you don't think Mahomes got better once he became the starter and then progressed to another level? by getting into a game. So that's what I'm talking about.
He just didn't need to play year one to get to where he got.
It doesn't need to happen year one. But, I mean, at a certain point, he's not going to get on the field to be the best he's going to be. You hope not. But, no, he can absolutely progress behind the scenes, and I think they want that to an extent. But I think you also want to see him see some game action in his rookie year and just kind of get his legs under him in that sense so you can get in a year two with the ball rolling.
What do you make of Jacoby Brissett? Because he concerns me. Yeah, we had some fun with an answer today. Jimmy, I don't know if you could cue it up for me, please. He's asked, so again, I'll just to set it up a little bit, put in some context. He's been given a chance to start in the NFL, but the only team that's going to give him this chance, it's probably the last chance he's going to have. And if he does well with it, he can carve out a nice second chapter of his career, like Geno Smith, or to some other degree, maybe a Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff, like have a second life in the NFL as a starting NFL quarterback. So what, you like rededicating yourself to the sport, eating, sleeping, living football because this is my chance. I'm going to take this job and not give it back. And if they still take it from me, I'm going to at least get another job because I am back and I'm going to seize this opportunity. Is that what I heard from Jacoby Brissett today? No. He was asked what he did this offseason. Here's what I heard.
Got away from football. Just hung out, really, at the house and played some golf, hung out with some friends, and that was pretty much it. Terrible. The more I play, the worse I get, so not good.
He didn't even get better at golf, but he hung around the house, hung out with friends. He didn't
get better at football either.
He got away from football, hung out with friends at the house. So, like, I hear that, I'm like, I'm just so underwhelmed by the bridge guy that they chose.
No, I get that, and I think he's just talking about the last 4 or 5 weeks there, not the full off season. But you do want to see him putting the work in. He was out throwing with receivers a little bit. To be fair,
I didn't hear the question. Was he just asked about the last month?
It was about the last month, yeah, not the whole off season.
But does he excite you? Wouldn't you have rather seen a Gardner Minshew? And I know the money was crazy for Baker Mayfield, but someone that's more of a gamer than he's just ugh.
I'll take the teacher over the gamer. For this specific situation, and everybody out of Washington, as much of a dumpster fire as that thing was last year, and it was on par with what it was here, the one thing everybody said was Jacoby Brissett was great. He was great with Sam Howell. He was, great in the locker room. He helped keep things together as much as he realistically could. They're going to need that. I'll take the teacher over the gamer at this point because I've kind of framed it this way. I know people want to get back to the Patriots being like this electric, competitive thing. If an investment of 4 more months helps them get there for the next 5 years, 10 years, I'll sacrifice September 2024 being a little less explosive if it means they'll be better down the road.
I don't know why. So we're relying on Jacoby Brissett to develop the guy?
Not entirely, but he's a part of it.
What a gig Jacoby Brissett has.
I mean, seriously.
But here's $8 million. Just hold the kid's hand, walk him through practice.
Play some golf.
Keep him out of trouble. You can suck. We'll lose. Just be a good guy. Here's $8 million to be a good guy. Nice.
To your point about the guys who developed sitting on the bench, Mahomes had Alex Smith.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mahomes had Alex Smith. Brady had Bledsoe to an extent. Again, I can't tell you about Montana.
Bledsoe didn't help him. And Favre was an epic a-hole to Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is probably an epic a-hole to Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers is an epic a-hole. I don't think there's any commonality between having a good guy or a bad guy there. I think it's about what makes the next guy tick. And so my big beef with the whole thing is just how they've just sort of willingly gone to the bottom with their bridge quarterback, their coach, their roster. But this is a side story. We start new tomorrow, fresh slate. I'm doing my best just to, drop my preconceived notions and just judge it as it comes day to day. So let's pick this up with Barth on the other side. How about the rest of this team? Can they win on defense, Barth? We've kicked this stat around. If they hold teams under 20 points. In the last 5 years, 30 teams have held opponents to under 20 points a game on average. None of them won fewer than 7 games. Can the Patriots be one of those teams?
They can. It's going to be as much about the offense as it is the defense.
Why? I don't understand. Of those 30 teams, I guarantee you there were some horrible offenses.
Wait, say that stat again.
Yes,
of the 30 you missed teams?
Okay.
No. All 30 won at least 7 games?
Listen! Stop talking. I'll give it to you again.
Well, because you didn't say clearly the first time. I wanted to specify.
Shh. In the last 5 years, 30 teams have held opponents to under 20 points per game on average. All 30 won at least 7 games.
Wow.
Okay? And I think 27 of the 30 won at least 8. Okay? The Patriots last year, you know what they held opponents to?
19.
21.5.
Oh,
So if they improve just marginally on defense,
a field goal.
they can be a team that holds opponents under 20 points, which, again, over the last 5 years has guaranteed you at least 7 wins. In the last 10 years, Mazz, there's been, I forget the exact number. It's something like 70. 70 teams in the last 10 years held opponents to under 20 points per game on average. 68 of the 70 had at least 7 wins. Okay, again, in a 16-game season. So it's a pretty clear sample. It's a pretty clear line. You hold teams under 20 points, you're going to be at least around 500 at worst. Can the Patriots, and I guarantee you, of those 30 teams the last 5 years, or the 70 teams the last 10, there were some horrible offenses. There just has to have been.
There were, but how much did they turn the ball over? So Mazz mentioned a
I'm
field
sure there
goal
were
difference.
teams that sucked on offense and turned the ball over. I'm sure it happened.
If you take out touchdowns the offense allowed, right?
Huh?
It's so basic, like a pick six, right?
Can the
Pick
Patriots
six,
be
something
one of
like
those
that.
teams?
They averaged 19.5 points per game last year when you take out essentially pick sixes and kick returns.
Okay,
and
but
things
you
like
can't
that.
take it out.
You can't take it out entirely, but can they be better about it? Last year, the Patriots defense also had the worst.
You're answering the
Can
question
I
on
answer the
offense.
question for you since he's not doing it?
Thank you.
Yes,
Of
they can
course,
be one of
yes,
those teams.
of course they can.
Yes, they can, but this is what we were talking
No
about
matter
earlier.
how bad the offenses are, if I go through those 70 teams, I guarantee you there were horrible offenses.
Right, just don't turn it over.
And maybe some of them even did. When every effing team that holds opponents under 20 points wins 7 games, just about every one, it's take out everything else. It's just about that.
Oh, I thought you were asking, can they hold teams under 20 points? If they hold
he's
teams under
basically
20 points,
asking that.
I'm
Yes.
basically
okay, sorry.
asking
They will be able to do that because the offense will be able to control the ball enough. If they can hold teams under 20 points, they'll be.
Is their
at least a
defense
7 team.
overrated?
What is it with you young people
No,
today?
I like it when Alex. When
Just answer the
You
question.
just yell at him, but it's justified. Answer the
Seriously,
question.
Just answer it.
What you just asked me?
Is the defense a little overrated?
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think so because I know they took a step back last year, but they're getting key players back. We think they're getting Matthew Judon back. If Matthew Judon leaves, ask me again. Right, if it falls apart with his contract. They're getting Judon back. They're getting Christian Gonzalez back. They're going to have some guys that, like younger guys who are going to improve. Keon White, everything I've seen from him so far suggests he's up for a big year 2 jump, which him opposite Judon would make a difference in their pass rush. I don't think the defense is overrated. I think the defense is legit.
Well, if they're trying to change the culture, though, would you want these disgruntled guys like Judon and Godchow around, especially when you're going to try to continue to build? What if you can get draft picks for him? And he's out here. Did he tweet something yesterday like, trade me with for Ayuk?
No,
for a second or
what
something?
happened
Not quite.
is some kid over the weekend tweeted out a trade proposal, Judon and a second-round pick to San Francisco for Ayuk and a 5th, and Judon retweeted it.
Yeah, that's basically like him saying it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So should they move on from him? How's this going to play out, you think?
When he's good with his contract, he's actually a good guy in the locker room. Like he's somebody players gravitate towards, and I think
I don't feel you're
positively.
answering the question.
He's not going to be good with his contract.
If you can't figure out his contract, you have to move him. Not another Stephon Gilmore situation where he's sitting on the bench till October and you move him for nothing. Like either pay him or move him now. Don't wait until the season. Him I would keep because I think he can be a valuable player. Devon Godchaux, they talk about being more aggressive on defense, and is there going to be less of that 2-gapping defensive tackle thing? He's also older. I don't know if they need to pay him. He's a guy I'd be fine with them moving on.
Out. Get rid of Godchow. Out. See you later. I don't need him. See you later. And Judon, I like Judon, okay? But the fact is, he's 32. He's coming off a torn biceps. Like,
He disappears every December.
I'm not giving him a new contract. I'm not. He's got to prove that he can play. He's done in a spot where he has leverage.
Give me your starting offensive line left to right. Unequivocally, just give it to me.
Ooh, Okorafor, So, Andrews, Onwenu, Wallace.
Yep.
Onwenu at right guard?
Yep.
For $20 million?
Yep. This is what Bedard said last night, the exact same
I
5.
think that's what they're going to have to do. I don't think they're going to have a choice. He's paid already.
Caden Wallace is the rookie,
Yep.
FYI.
3rd-round pick.
And this Okorafor has never played left tackle. And Antonio Mafi, how do we feel about him quickly?
You mean City So?
Or City Sow, I'm sorry, it's City Sow.
He's left
Solid
guard.
player. It's fine.
Fine. That's a crap-tastic offensive line.
It's not great. It's the biggest concern on this team. Quarterback, whatever, receivers, whatever. And it was the offensive line last year, which makes it so frustrating. If anything undoes this team, if anything makes this team really fall apart, it's going to be the offensive line.
I just want to make sure I'm getting this straight. Wallace is the kid they drafted from Penn State.
Yes, sir.
Who played on the right side, but they said they think he can play on the left.
Yes.
Except they're playing him on the right.
But
because he can't play on the left.
But they're going to play him on the right where they already signed a Wenu and paid him $20 million to play on the right.
Well, guard.
But that's guard money now, $20 million?
It's both. He's the second highest paid guard and the fourth highest paid right tackle. So depending on where he plays.
Holy crap.
So it's
they don't
about,
know what they're doing.
He's top 5 in either spot.
I'm afraid they don't know what they're doing.
No, they don't. They're just signing people and sticking them wherever they can.
The offensive line definitely feels like we're going to have a bunch of bodies. We're going to throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't Owenu be the right tackle and Wallace be the right guard?
Alex?
I mean, some people have suggested that. Wallace has never really played guard, not even in college.
But isn't he built more like a guard?
He can play either. For their system, he can play either.
Wow.
This is good. We're going to bring in Barth just to yell at him and take this out on him because I do want to blame you.
He is a ranking member of the Patriots organization.
You wouldn't be the only ones.
He draws a check from the Crafts.
You would not be the only ones to take it out on me.
Barth, give me the starting 5 receivers. I say starting 5 receivers. Give me the depth chart at receiver 1 to 5. Boy, this is unbelievable.
Born at the Z.
Don't give me
No, okay.
Boo.
1 through 5.
All right. 1 through 5.
Receivers.
Born, Douglas, Polk, Baker,
Baker. Baker.
and either Osborne or Rager. That'll be a battle.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
I don't see his place on the team. I don't see it.
KJ or Ozzy?
KJ
KJ.
I had to think there for a second.
from Minnesota.
So Kendrick Bourne's your number 1 receiver?
If he's healthy, yeah.
I like Kendrick Bourne.
I
I
do
don't
too.
like
He's
him as a
no one.
number 1 receiver.
No, he's a solid, secondary
He's
receiver.
a
but
third
this
or
is where they
fourth
are.
guy. He's a third or fourth guy.
Everybody they have is a third or fourth guy. Except for Polk, who we don't know about yet.
What'd you see from Polk in the spring?
I like what I saw. He attacks the foot. He attacks the football. It feels like he's making a play on every ball that's thrown his way. He's got a big catch radius. He runs aggressive routes. Of course I did. Yeah, it's non-padded. We got a long way to go. But I think for what you can do in the spring, he showed a good amount. That can all change when the pads come on. It usually does.
I'll believe it when I see it.
What else, Mazz?
What other positions you mean?
What else do you want to know about the team heading into training camp?
Secondary. Who's going to play opposite Christian Gonzalez?
I think it should be Alex. Well, I think they should try to sign Stephon Gilmore. But if they don't, I think it should be Alex Austin. He finished strong last year. He had a really good spring. He's got the body type to play boundary corner the way they want. He has some sneaky upside. Then you can play Jonathan Jones in the slot and Gonzalez, Austin, Jones. That's like a real solid 3-corner rotation if Austin takes the step.
Is Austin tall?
Yeah, he's 6'1", 6'2", and he's got long arms, too, for his size. So he's got that build. Jones can play on the outside. I have no problem with that in particular, but now what are you doing in the slot, especially in a division where you have to face a lot of smaller, quicker receivers, right, like in Miami? Marcus Jones might be the guy, but he's kind of unproven. He's injury-prone. Then you go to Sean Wade is probably their next slot corner, and then some undrafted guys. So if you can keep Jonathan Jones in the slot, or if you sign Stephon Gilmore, it just extends the depth chart like one more spot. But Alex Austin is a key player there. I really like what I've seen from him going back to last year.
Who's their free safety?
I don't know that they have one. It's
That's
great.
why I asked. Yeah.
It's probably Jalen Hawkins, but
I don't know who that is.
guy they
Julius
signed
Peppers
from
still
Atlanta.
on the team?
Jabril.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, I do that too sometimes. Yeah, he is, but he's best in the box. Duggar's best in the box, and they'll probably play them both at free sometimes, which they did last year, which I don't like because they're less impactful there. I think what you'll see with Hawkins, he won't be a free safety like Devin McCourty was, where he was on the field, 99% of the time, third and long,
Who is that?
2-minute drill.
They drafted another box safety last year. Who was the kid that they drafted again? What's his name?
Marte Mapu.
Mapu.
Oh, Mapu.
Marte Mapu.
Another guy where he'll make the team just because he's in his second year, but it's outside of special teams. It's tough to see his path. He's a tweener, and at the time when they picked him, it felt like he was picked to replace Kyle
Another
Duggar.
Belichick pick going right out the
And
window.
Kyle Duggar's still here, so that happens when you have a new GM. Plans go out the window.
They drafted him because their bill was never going to pay Duggar.
Correct.
But now they've paid Duggar, and now you're stuck with Mapu.
Mapu.
I'd like to see them try to move him back to linebacker where he played in college, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do that.
What do you think it's going to be like there tomorrow in terms of the fans? Going to be like thin and sad, or
I think there'll be decent fans tomorrow because it's the first day. Thursday will be tough. Thursday could be a little thin.
Oh, God.
good times down in Foxboro?
I was going to say to you earlier that like this day or the start of camp.
Yes.
Always felt like such a monumental thing.
I've been complaining about it for a week. It feels like it's fallen off a cliff.
It's like now it's like an afterthought. It's like, oh yeah, they showed up today. Oh, great. Okay, when are they on the field again? Usually there's a buildup. There's a hype. Brady's coming in. Here you go.
That's what I've been talking about. You know who they miss, Maz?
Bill.
They miss Bill. I'm saying
the persona of Bill.
Let me rephrase. We miss Bill.
Yeah.
We miss Bill.
Wow.
I didn't think it would be this bad, but this talk show suffers.
When you said it yesterday, and again, it was a great way to put it. It's the first time in 25 years that you've gone into a football season without Brady or Belichick.
But I'm telling you, that's only half of the story. The other half of the story is how I think they totally just punted on a serious reset. They could easily, alt is money. They could have Jim Harbaugh coaching the thing, Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. They still could have drafted Drake May. They could have spent money on a receiver and a left tackle, and you'd have a real team right in it. You'd be right in it because your defense is still the defense. You'd have all the pieces in place on defense. You'd have a real coach with pedigree and some gravitas. You'd have an NFL quarterback. If you had just spent and done something at left tackle and receiver, you'd have a representative offense, and we'd have a season. And you can still draft the effing quarterback. So, I resent that they've done what they've done. And that's the one take I'm stuck on. I'm trying to reset with the team, Alex. But it's hard. When I've got to talk about Marte Mapu. I don't want to talk about Marte Mapu until he F's something up, and then we'll rip him. But how much can we really get out of that?
Who's going to be the third running back?
Oh, my God. Barth tried this last week. You're
going to know his name by the end of the year, I'm telling you.
Forks in my eyes.
Who is it?
I like Jermichael Hasty, but they worked out Demetric Felton yesterday.
You ever hear of either of these guys?
Played for Van Pelt.
Hasty's, is that James Hasty's son?
I don't know.
You don't know who James Hasty is?
I barely remember.
But I'm talking to him.
Former chief, right?
Yeah. It's got to be his kid, right?
I'll go with that, sure.
I can't believe you haven't made that connection yet.
I'll look it up.
Never mind, just go.
Well, what you're talking about, that age range, welcome to hell, Barth. You're about to cover this team when it's really going to suck. This is all going to be new to you.
You don't know what you're in for. Seriously. You can get it shoved down your throat.
There's starting to be indications, I'm starting to see things like, it's a little different now.
It's sort of like it's a, are we just a fraud football market? Which is what I feared. We were never a football market.
100%. Yep.
You've always said this.
People were just into the winning with Brady.
We won. Yay.
Brady and Belichick and buying T-shirts from Portnoy on Goodell. And it was never about the football because you're not a football market.
Never, not once.
It was about the blowing.
It was about the winning and the blowing. It's really all it was.
It was kind of fun, to be honest.
It was great run.
I don't think it'll be as bad as you think, but it's not going to be as good as you think
it'll
either.
be worse.
You know what I mean?
I need them to win. Some of this would go away. Yeah, we need them to win. Sorry, if some of this would go away if Drake May started early, but this is where we're being selfless. He shouldn't start right away. They should take their time. That's the smart thing to do. So we're sacrificing talk show buzz for the betterment of the team.
Don't you get some buzz out of that though? Because you get to come in every week and say, "Why isn't he starting yet? He should be starting."
I guess so. Yeah.
Once he starts, that conversation's gone. The when should Drake May start conversation out the window.
Week 1, it starts.
Yeah, here we are. All right.
It's going to take you that long? I figure preseason.
Maybe.
Thanks, Barth. We appreciate it.
Anytime you guys need somebody to yell at, happy to do it.